Got me like a Hellcat.
Hello there guys and welcome to the first round of the Season 5 IF1C Championship. I know 5 seasons, it's gone really quick. I'm your commentator JWF1 and we are here at the famous Melbourne Grand Prix circuit in Albert Park for the first round of the 17 race championship. Last season's top 3 saw Oliver Glazebrook take his second victory in Australia, with Matt Orange, also a 2-time winner of this track, in second, with Cameron Anderson, who's no longer in the series, in third place. It was a great race at the front, with Matt Orange giving Oliver Glazebrook a run for his money. Whether we'll have that today, it remains to be seen, especially with Matt Orange now moving to Mercedes and Oliver Glazebrook still remaining at Ferrari, which, as we know, in the 2017 Formula 1 Championship, those two teams are extremely close in that championship. We have 15 laps of action here and it's looking to be quite an interesting race. So before we start, let's have a look at the qualifying comparisons with Matt Orange and Robert Hunter. This is the qualifying comparison here at the Melbourne Grand Prix circuit, with Matt Orange and Robert Hunter both driving for Mercedes and both of them locking out the front row here today. So we start the video comparison now then, as I go down the pit straight roughly at the same time as they go charging down in towards turn 1. Matt taking a little bit too much on the inside and it's compromising through turn 2, as you saw there, getting a little bit of a twitch of an oversteer, and that might allow Robert Hunter to try and catch up. But as you can see, Matt Orange seems to capitalise and recompose himself as I go through turn 3. It looks like he's slightly ahead through there. A little bit of twitch from Matt Orange, but still slightly ahead of Robert Hunter. It looks like Hunter's getting a little bit of twitch there through in towards turn 5. Now as we approach the end of sector 1, Matt Orange with quite a comfortable lead in front of Robert Hunter at this point. Robert Hunter still hasn't been able to reach the first sector point yet. Matt Orange already has at this point. So at the moment, Matt Orange ahead at this point. But as they come through into turn 6, Robert Hunter slightly with a better exit than Matt Orange. Orange went a little bit wide going out of turn 6 as they go through turn 8 now up towards turn 9, which is very easy to cut the corner through there, but luckily there's a sausage curve which prevents him from doing that. Matt looked like he had a little bit of a twitch coming out of turn 9 as they all go down towards the left-hander there, which is not considered a corner, as they come up towards the chicane now. And at the end of sector 2, as you can see, it's slightly close between the pair of them. Shows how much Robert's caught up, but by that point it looks like Robert Hunter is just slightly ahead of Matt Orange at this point. So Hunter so far ahead of Matt at this stage as they went out of the exit in sector 2. Now through into towards the chicane now, a lot of them using a lot of the curb. Robert Hunter looked like he had a little bit of a twitch coming out into that corner as they now come up towards the fourth to last corner now then. As you can see, both using that curb pretty well. Looked like Hunter looked like he didn't get better traction than what Matt did. Coming through the third to last corner now up towards the second to last corner. You saw there Robert Hunter getting a little bit of a twitch coming out of that corner. It's very close between as they're coming towards the final corner again. Robert Hunter with a twitch on the steering wheel, flicking on the DRS down the pit straight, and who's going to be quickest as they cross the line? It is Matt Orange, who's just slightly quicker than Robert Hunter. So Matt Orange takes the first pole position of season 5 with teammate Robert Hunter alongside him in second place. So here is the grid then for the Australian Grand Prix, the first race of Season 5. Matt Orange takes the first pole position of the season with Robert Hunter, his teammate, in second and only 300s behind. That just shows how close the two Mercedes are in terms of pace. Michael Moron is in third, 8 tenths back from Matt Orange, with teammate and defending champion Oliver Glazebrook in 4th position. Matthew Adler in the Haas is in 5th, with Olly Flavell in 6th. Cesar Hernandez is in 7th, with Matthew Dummer in 8th. Connor Smith, unable to set the time as a result of a crash in Q3, so starts in 9th. Joseph Willows is in 10th after disconnecting at the end of Q2 and unable to get into the Renault, so he will be in the Red Bull for this race. Jyri Maatta is in 11th, also disconnected and didn't set the time, but luckily being able to get him back into the Williams. And Andy Graham is in 12th for Red Bull, but he'll be in the Force India as a result of a disconnect as well. There is a qualifying glitch with full qualifying as a result of drivers disconnecting during it, so I can tell you from the Malaysian Grand Prix onwards it will revert to short qualifying until the full qualifying glitch is sorted. So as we go through the rest of the field, Tyarn Reynolds did not start because of a disconnect. Same for Barber, Sam Thompson, TJ McLean, who's the reserve driver for the series, and Francis McGinn. They all disconnected and were unable to start. And the 3 drivers that did not attend were Aaron Collingwood, Liam Kalvaitis, and Mow Swanson. So 12 cars are ready for the off, and we are getting set for the Australian Grand Prix. So without further ado, let's get into it. So here we are then, here at the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne, situated in Albert Park at the famous Melbourne Grand Prix circuit. This famous street circuit, as we get a good view there of the lake that's just opposite of it, or essentially in the middle, as we get set for 15 laps of action here at this famous circuit. To kick things off, as always, now taking an overview of the track, we have 16 corners in total. 2 DRS zones like it is for the majority of the circuits on this calendar, 5.30 kilometers in length, max speed 330 kph with a lap record of 124.125 set by Michael Schumacher in 2004 in his Ferrari F2004 at the time. I would not be surprised if anybody beats that today, considering the cars we have, especially in qualifying where a majority of the field was able to do that anyway, so it shouldn't be a worry by people trying to beat Michael Schumacher's time that he set some 13 years ago when he was dominating Formula 1. As you get to take a good look at the exit of that corner, obviously the drivers will want to be aware of that barrier that's on the left hand side there, as they won't want to end their race there. So meantime, we're now on the grid. We have 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights on your screen, and we are ready for the first race of Season 5, and it's underway, and it seems to be a good start from the front too. Looks like those two have got away cleanly from the Ferraris, but it looks like Hunter's got a better start compared to Orange, and he takes the lead at turn 1. In the background, there seems to be a crash going on between, I believe it looked like Willows, Maatta, and Graham, it appears. So there's been a crash down at turn 1 there. And, well, just before turn 1, and as a result, it has caused carnage. 2 people out of the race, Maatta and Graham out of the race. Looks like Willows has survived, it appears. It's not been a good start from Moron. He's down to 6th, but gets up to 5th because Hernandez has just made a mistake coming out of turn 4. Olly, meantime, having a look at Orange, and obviously not able to make it through, and Adler clips the back of him as a result, and Adler's going to have to make a trip to the pits as he loses a bit of front wing. What a shame for him as far as he's concerned. It looks like Hernandez has also got an issue with his front wing, so at least 2 people are going to have to make a trip back to the pits as a result with damage. And, well, an eventful start to the race. What a shame for Adler, who had such a good start, ending up running into the back of Glazebrook as a result. And, well, as you can see, how much downforce he's using now. Moron trying to take advantage of this, and Moron getting up into 4th place as a result there. So going up to 4th place goes Michael Moron, and now the top 4 again consisting of Mercedes and Ferraris, with Glazebrook trying to keep the 2 Mercedes guys in on tenterhooks, as Dummer trying to avoid Adler, who's having to nurse with half a front wing. Race control, cars 93, 95 and 97 under investigation for the start crash. That is Andy Graham, Jyri Maatta and Joseph Willows as well. So it was those 3 who got involved in the background, as 2 people into the pits, that being Adler and Smith, and it looks like Hernandez is joining, so 3 cars into the pits at the end of lap 1 then. An eventful start to this Australian Grand Prix and to the Season 5 IF1C Championship, as Hunter tries to pull away from teammate Orange, who's having to fend off from Oliver Glazebrook, the defending champion. Meanwhile, let's take a look at a replay of the start then. Let's see how Orange lost the lead. It just looked like he did get a good start, but it just appeared that Hunter just got the better one as they go down in towards turn 1. Hunter gets a lead, and well, that was a little bit cheeky there from Hunter to cut the first corner there as a result. And well, I don't know if he was trying to avoid contact with his teammate there, but clearly trying to avoid Orange as best as he can, as Orange tried to have a look at him there into turn 3, but Hunter sticking to his ground and keeping hold of the lead. Let's have a look from Hunter's perspective, and yeah, as you can see, just got the better start there. And as you can see, you just noticed there, the two Mercedes drivers actually on two different types of compounds. Hunter on the ultra softs and Orange on the super soft tyres. And actually, co-masters have actually noted his corner cut there at turn 1, so it's a good thing that co-masters are actually keeping a note on that in case Hunter does anything similar during the race. So that's good to see for them as far as they're concerned. Now let's see what on earth happened to Adler. So Glazebrook having a look at Orange, had to tuck back, and Adler was just a passenger and ended up colliding into the back of him. I don't think anybody should be punished for that. I just think that's just a racing incident. But yeah, we'll have to see if the stewards will want to investigate that. As Glazebrook all over the backside of Orange, but it appears he just hasn't got enough straight line speed to get by him, as Joseph Willows is into the pits to presumably repair some damage on his front wing. Looks like he's sustained a bit of damage. Race control, cars 4 and 45 under investigation for a collision on that one. That is Matthew Adler and Oliver Glazebrook. So that's the collision we saw on the replay just a little earlier on. And it looks like Joseph has not changed his front wing. It appears he's forgotten to enable the option of repairing the front wing automatically, it appears. So that's just a shame for Joseph Willows. Obviously, he's in the Red Bull, let's not forget. He should be in the Renault, but because he got disconnected in qualifying, of course, he has been put in the Red Bull because he was unable to get back in the Renault. And as you can see now, he rejoins in 7th place just in front of Matthew Adler. And it appears that Adler wants a piece of Willows as he tries to make his way back through the field after losing his front wing. Well, half his front wing on that one as a result of hitting the back of Glazebrook. He has a look. Looks like Willows has gone straight on, down towards turn 3. He seems to have gone straight on. No, he seems to have teleported back in front. So it appears that Willows has just got a little bit of lag going on his side there. So lag going on there for Joseph Willows as Adler tries to find a way past Willows at this stage, all over the backside of him, essentially touching his rear end there as they go swooping around the right-hander and up towards turns 9 and 10. Adler looking to the inside, but thinks better of it, tucks back for now and tries to find a better way to get past Willows at this stage, trying to put the Brit under pressure at the moment as they go swooping around the left-hander and up towards the quick left-right chicane now. Then Adler trying to put pressure on Willows. Willows looks like he's gone wide. It appears trying to push on. It looks like he might have lost it, in fact, because Adler's going to take advantage. And Adler moves up into 7th place. Over to P7 goes Matthew Adler as he gets by Joseph Willows. As Joseph loses it on the curb. Can he keep it out of the wall? Can he keep it out of the wall? No, he can't. He smashes it into the wall. And Joseph Willows is out of the Australian Grand Prix. His Melbourne jinx has come back to haunt him. He's never been a fan of this track on a racing game. And sadly, it's come back to haunt him. Joseph Willows out of the Australian Grand Prix, and we're down to 9 runners as a result. Smith and Hernandez gaining a place as a result. So that's Joseph Willows' Melbourne jinx coming back to haunt him there. Let's have a look at the replay from Willows. Starting off here, so he just looked like he took a little bit too much speed, lost it on the grass. Adler just took advantage and moved up into 7th place, and at that point, Willows was trying to tuck back into him to try and find a way back past him. But let's not forget, dirty air is a big effect now with these 2017 cars. It seemed that Joseph got caught on that, clipped the curve, lost it on the grass, and as a result, smacked it into the wall, and that's his race over. As we look at Cesar Hernandez's perspective, and that's why he lost a bit of front wing. It looked like Dummer shoved him into the wall there on lap 1, so I will not be surprised if the stewards will want to try and investigate that if that is the case. As meantime now then, we ride on board with Matt Owens, who's trying to pile the pressure on Robert Hunter for the lead of this race. As meantime, it appears that Oliver Glazebrook has pitted from 3rd place, as it says pit next to his name, and Michael Moron has gone up into 3rd place as a result. Oliver Glazebrook has finished his pit stop. Where is he going to rejoin then, as he tries to reel in the 2 Mercedes cars? Race control, cars 25 and 98 under investigation for a collision on that one. That is Matthew Dummer and Cesar Hernandez. So that was obviously the collision we saw on the replay a little earlier on. Glazebrook, meantime, the defending champion, rejoins in 6th place behind these two of Matthew Dummer and Olly Flavell, who seem to be having a great scrap at the moment for P4. It's McLaren versus Toro Rosso at this stage, and Flavell trying to pile the pressure on the McLaren driver. Obviously, we know the McLaren is not good in a straight line due to the Honda engine that it's got, and obviously the Toro Rosso will want to try and take advantage of that. Race control, cars 93, 95 and 97, no further action. So no further action on that start crash that happened between Andy Graham, Jyri Maatta and Joseph Willows. So they think it's just a racing incident, the stewards do. So that's that then as far as they are concerned. Meantime, Matt Orange piling the pressure on Hunter. He seems to have taken a little bit of time out of his lead there as he tries to force his teammate into a mistake. Meantime, back to the battle for for 4th, or should be 5th by the time everybody is pitted. Flavell goes a little bit wide just coming out of that chicane, and Dummer takes advantage and pulls a bit of a gap now in front. Meantime, race leader Robert Hunter pits for the lead of this Grand Prix, giving the lead temporarily to his teammate Matt Orange. So Robert Hunter is in the pits as he will put on a set of super soft tyres, and they should last him to the end of the race, of course. And let's see where Hunter is going to rejoin. Where's Glazebrook on the track, of course? Glazebrook's only coming up towards the second to last corner, so I would think that Hunter will do enough to stay in front of Glazebrook. I think Glazebrook's main hope is to try and leapfrog Matt Orange if he can for P2, to split the two Mercedes if he can as they go down the pit straight, and that, as I predicted, Hunter rejoins still in front of Glazebrook. So now Glazebrook, if he wants to win this race, he's got to really pile the pressure on Hunter, but at the same time he's got to try and push hard to see if he can try and leapfrog Matt Orange. Meantime, Olly Flavell has finished his pit stop. He rejoins in 6th, just in front of Matthew Adler, so he rejoins in a comfortable 6th place as Adler tries to close him down now for that place, as he tries to make a fight back after what happened to him at the start of this race. Now then, as Matt Orange there just looked like he missed the apex there going through into that quick chicane there, but luckily was able to compose himself and make sure he stayed off the grass as they come up towards the final 4 corners on the track. And obviously he's on a set of super soft tyres, let's not forget, so he's going to be staying out for quite a while. So Robert Hunter has got to try and warm up his super soft tyres to good effect and try and close him down in order to try and keep the lead of the Grand Prix and hope to take the opening win of this season. Race control, cars 4, 40 and 45 incident, the incident between those two, no further action as a result. So no further action in terms of that contact that happened to them at the start on lap 1 there. So yeah, that's that then really as far as they're concerned. Looked like a little bit of a grammar error from the stewards there as far as they're concerned. Michael Moron has finished his pit stop, and I would presume that Hunter and Glazebrook should get back in front. In the meantime, the McLaren of Matthew Dummer pits for his one and only stop. Through goes Glazebrook, so Moron should rejoin in a comfortable 4th place and a little bit closer to Glazebrook. So Moron will want to try and get a piece of the pie if he can, if he's able to battle with the Mercedes and his teammate Oliver Glazebrook. Now, where's Dummer going to rejoin? Because Flavell obviously pitted earlier. These two are in a battle, and it looks like Flavell has been able to jump him in the pit. So Flavell up into P5, Dummer down to P6, and rejoining just in front of Adler. But will Adler try and take advantage because he's obviously on fresher tyres and going a bit quicker? And he does so with ease. Adler nicely through there, and up into P6 goes Matthew Adler as he tries to make a comeback after what happened to him on lap 1. Beautiful stuff from the Haas driver, but it looks like Dummer is not going to give up on him as he's still all over the backside of the Haas driver, and we know that McLaren has some very good downforce underneath it and will want to try and take full advantage of that if he can. Let's not forget about that as we look at the temporary race leader Matt Orange, who's staying out for another lap, so he's going to start lap 8 of 15 in this race. We've already passed the halfway point of this Grand Prix, and Matt Orange trying to push as hard as he can to ensure to leapfrog teammate Robert Hunter. As meantime, we look there at the battle for 6th between Adler and Dummer. Looks like Dummer starting to drop back a bit from Matthew Adler as Adler tries to pull away and close up onto Olly Flavell for P number 5 as we view the defending champion Oliver Glazebrook, who seems to be losing time now to Robert Hunter. So it appears that on this stint these tyres seem to be not suiting the defending champion. It's allowing Robert Hunter to just get away from the Ferrari driver, so it could be down between the two Mercedes for the race win of Robert Hunter and Matt Orange. So that could play quite an interesting race as a result. As we got his yellow flag, and it's Matthew Dummer. Matthew Dummer has crashed it at the exit of the last corner. It seems he might have lost it on the curb, and Matthew Dummer is out of the Australian Grand Prix, and we're down to 8 runners as a result. Matthew Dummer has smacked it into the wall just at the exit of the final corner, and that's his race over. Such a shame for Dummer. He was looking strong for points, but that's that really. Matthew Dummer out of the Grand Prix, and we're down to 8 runners as a result, as the yellow flag is still down at that section where Dummer crashed. As we look at Matt Orange, and is he peeling into the pits? Yes, he is. Matt Orange is in for his one and only stop. Now the question remains, will Matt Orange leapfrog teammate Robert Hunter? He seemed to have to jam on the brakes there just to put the pit limiter on, just to avoid not speeding in the pits, as he put a set of ultra soft tyres. So now the two Mercedes drivers have done the switcheroo. Hunter's coming around the second to the last corner now then. Is it enough for Hunter to stay in front, or will Orange get the jump on it? I do believe it's possibly going to be very close between the two Mercedes drivers. drivers. Matt Orange just flicked off the pit limiter. It's going to be so close. They're going to go side by side down towards turn 1. But it looks like Hunter's still got the edge. And Hunter is still in the lead of this Grand Prix. So Robert Hunter resumes the lead. And Orange, if he wants to win this race, he's going to have to catch him up on track. But let's not forget, he is on the ultra soft tyres, so he is going to get quicker, potentially, in the next couple of laps to get Robert Hunter for the lead of this race. So we could have an interesting scrap between the two Mercedes drivers. Race control. Car 25, Matthew Dummer, receives a reprimand for causing a collision with car 98, which is Cesar Hernandez. So that was what the collision was on lap 1, which resulted in Cesar Hernandez coming in to repair that front wing. So the stewards felt that it was Dummer's fault. He's been given a reprimand, just saying, please be careful of others around you next time, because obviously it didn't look intentional, but obviously he just needs to be careful next time. As meantime, we look down the rest of the pack. Cesar Hernandez is in for a second stop, so he felt that the tyres that he was on after he had to change his front wing were not going to make it to the end. He's put onto a set of ultra soft tyres, so he wants to go quick towards the end of the Grand Prix, if that's the case, if he wants to gain a few more places by the end of the Grand Prix. Meantime, Matt Orange now starting to pile the pressure on Robert Hunter. Look how close he's got ever since he's warmed up those ultra soft tyres. We know the ultra soft tyres are obviously going to be quicker than the super softs that Robert Hunter has. Will Orange try and get the lead of Robert Hunter as they come down the pit straight? Is Orange going to get the lead from us? We've got a yellow flag, and I believe it's Matthew Adler, and it is. Matthew Adler has crashed it at the exit of the quick chicane there. It looks like he might have lost it on the curb. Not quite Timo Glock style, but Matthew Adler is out of the Australian Grand Prix, and we're down to 7 runners. What a shame. He was looking good for points and an amazing comeback, but sadly it's all come to naught, and Adler finds himself out of the Grand Prix. We're down to 7 runners. Cesar Hernandez, he's going to gain a place, and he's going to move up into 7th place. And well, that'll be 6 championship points for him and Renault as a constructor, and that's desperately what they need, considering their other driver Joseph Willows crashed out a little earlier on in the Grand Prix. So that's that really. Meantime, back to the battle for the lead between the two Mercedes drivers of Robert Hunter and Matt Orange now then, as they go swooping around the left-hander. Orange trying to pile the pressure on Hunter as much as he can as they go up towards the quick left-right chicane on the track. And Orange, is he going to get the job done? There's Adler's stricken car from a little earlier on as they go up towards the final 4 corners. And Orange has just got to look for that mistake Hunter has. So far, Hunter keeping his ground at the moment as he tries to fend off from his teammate as they go up towards the final 2 corners on the track. A bit of a lock up there from Matt Orange, unless that's just a spectator cam. Through the final corner, he will have DRS again. And it looks like Hunter's got a little bit of oversteer. Will Orange take advantage? Orange going down the inside. He finds a gap down the inside, down the pit straight. Hunter trying to close the door, but Orange is already there down the inside, and he does it. Orange takes the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. A lead change has happened. Matt Orange takes the lead from his teammate. Fantastic stuff, and we have a new race leader in the form of Matt Orange, and a fantastic move on that as well. Brilliant stuff. Hunter just didn't have a response, and Orange now leads the Australian Grand Prix as we have 5 laps to go here at the Albert Park circuit in Australia. And let's have a look at the replay then of that, the overtake happened, because as you can see, Orange trying to pile the pressure, like Hunter just clipped a little bit too much curb in the last corner there, and Orange was able to take advantage by getting into the slipstream, going down to the inside, flicking on the DRS, down the inside, and he's already ahead just before the corner. And Orange now is your new race leader in this Grand Prix, and it looks like Hunter is even starting to drop back a bit. So here's a look from Hunter. As you see, too much curb, losing the car a little bit. Orange takes advantage, goes to the inside of Robert Hunter, and there's nothing at this point that Robert could do. Orange is already ahead, and Orange now leads the Grand Prix. Meantime, Connor Smith has finished off his pit stop, and he rejoins in 6th place. So he obviously went quite long into the Grand Prix. He's on a set of ultra soft tyres, and he rejoins in 6th, just in front of Cesar Hernandez. So Hernandez could possibly set another place, as he's now on the back of the Toro Rosso driver. But we'll have to see what the pace is like between the pair of them. As meantime, Orange crosses the line to start lap 12 of 15, and he even sets the fastest lap of the race, and he's even pulled out nearly 1.5 seconds ahead of Robert Hunter. It just shows how much he's been able to heat up those tyres and how quick he's going on those set of ultra softs compared to Robert Hunter's pace on the super softs. And as you can see, the 2 Ferraris are starting to drop back now for the 2 Mercedes. Clearly this stint isn't working out, and as you can see, looks like Moron is actually starting to close up on his teammates, so we could have a battle between the 2 Ferrari drivers for 3rd place. So those 2 could keep themselves for company if that is the case, as they just go swooping around the turns 3, 4 and 5 as Moron tries to get a podium. Looked like a little bit of a twitch there coming out of turn 4. all in an attempt to push hard and gain on his teammate for third place at the moment. The gap between them so far is 1.6 seconds, and well, that's that really. Looks like Glazebrook's pulling away slightly from at the end of Sector 1 because he's up the pace now to 1.7, but it looks like Moron has started to close the gap down a little bit again. I don't know if it's because Glazebrook is still not used to his tyres that he's on, and maybe Moron is probably suited to these tyres compared to Glazebrook, or what, but we'll have to wait and see on that as I go swooping around the quick left-right chicane. And look at that, Moron, as you can see on the sector, on the gaps on the left-hand side of your screen there, Moron able to take quite a big chunk out of Glazebrook there, so it seems that Glazebrook did not get a good run out of that quick left-right chicane, but Moron did. So Moron was able to take 4 attempts in that chicane there compared to Oliver Glazebrook, as Matt Orange meantime sets another fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He is absolutely flying. He's even up the gap between himself and Robert Hunter to 2.6 seconds. Shows how much he's flying on those set of ultra soft tyres, and clearly his strategy has worked out to perfection in this Grand Prix, and he's just pretty much having a lonely race at the moment, pretty much doing something similar to what he did when he was last at Mercedes in Season 2, except he obviously had a little bit of competition in the form of his teammates, so he's not essentially had things his own way, but you have to say, brilliant tactical stuff there from Matt Orange in the Mercedes as he looks to try and get the first win of Season 5 in the bag and to take the early lead in the Drivers' Championship as a result, and he's continuing to up that gap now. 2.7 it's up to. Robert Hunter is reviewing right now, just really hasn't got the pace compared to his teammate on the set of super soft tyres compared to Matt's ultra softs, and wow, if only Robert Hunter was on the same strategy as Matt, then potentially he could have had a chance of winning this race, but clearly he didn't. He went for the safe route, and it clearly backfired on him there, and Matt Orange clearly the victor when it comes to the strategy, as it seems, and it looks like, unless something goes wrong, it looks like Matt Orange's for the taking as he just continues to build that gap out in front. It's nearly 3 seconds now between himself and teammate Robert Hunter, and wow, he's on the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix, lap 14 of 15, and well, he's still continuing to build that gap out in front. We ride on board with Matt Orange, and you can just see how much confidence he has in this Mercedes car. Obviously, we know the last time he was with Mercedes in Season 2, he actually won the Australian Grand Prix, and it looks like he's going to repeat it this season on his return to Mercedes, of course. And will this be the key for Matt Orange to potentially take his second World Championship this season? A lot of people could consider him as a favourite this season as he leads this race, and you have to say you can't put it past Matt Orange to potentially take his second World Championship this season. He clearly, on his return to Mercedes, felt confident, and it's showing with him in front at the moment, with Robert Hunter currently in second place at the moment. Glazebrook at the moment just hasn't got a response to the Mercedes, and we're hoping that in the next race in Malaysia, which is mainly a downforce track, he can take advantage of that if he can. But meantime, on this powerhouse track, it's clearly belonging to the Mercedes boys as they are continuing to dominate from the rest of the pack, and pretty much doing a 2016-esque sort of drive in the two Mercedes drivers are. Obviously this is 2017, of course, obviously the dominance of Mercedes is now over, but they're pretty much doing a 2016 essentially. But meantime, here comes Matt Orange coming around the final corner, and Matt Orange is about to start his final lap here in Australia. What a race it has been for Matt Orange. He started on pole position, he lost the lead at the start to Robert Hunter, but kept his composure because he was on a longer stint, and obviously he didn't get the lead after the pit stop, but was able to heat up his ultra soft tyres to the point where he was able to go quicker than Robert Hunter. He was able to pass him with 5 laps to go, and since then no one has been able to stop him, and he's looking good to grab the first victory of Season 5 and the early lead in the Drivers' Championship. He will take the lead in the championship for the first time since Season 2, in fact, when he last won the Drivers' Championship, of course. Since then, in his 2 seasons with Williams, he's never led the Drivers' Championship, but it seems that on his return to Mercedes, he's going to do that as we ride on board with the defending champion, Oliver Glazebrook, and he gets a 3-second time penalty. He's cut the corner at the edge of turn 7. It seems he might have done that several times, and obviously that's going to have to stand, I'm afraid, and well, it means he's going to have to pull a 3-second gap between himself and Michael Moron, because if he doesn't, Moron is going to be on the podium rather than Glazebrook. So it's going to be a question of which Ferrari is going to be on the podium now as a result of the penalty. Will it be Glazebrook or Moron that will join the Mercedes on the podium? But meantime, if we view Hunter there, looked like he went a little bit deep into the fourth to last corner. As we now look at Matt Orange now then. He has done a fantastic job in this race around the final corner, and on his return to Mercedes, it's going to be Matt Orange who wins the Australian Grand Prix. Congratulations to him and the Mercedes AMG Petronas team. They have got their first victory since season 2. They're back on the top step. Robert Hunter finishes in second, making it a Mercedes 1-2. Great stuff from them. Oliver Glazebrook finishes third on the road, but because of his penalty, it's going to be Michael Moron who finishes in third. Oliver Glazebrook is going to have to settle for fourth, but luckily for him, he's going to drop to further places because Olly Flavell is too far behind the two Ferraris. But Olly Flavell, you've got to give this guy a pat on the back. What a brilliant drive from both Toro Rosso drivers. In fact, 5th and 6th is going to be for Ollie and Connor. And to go around the final corner, Olly Flavell is going to finish in P5. A splendid drive from him, and surely one that Red Bull's got to take note of. A brilliant drive from him as far as he's concerned. Here is Connor Smith then. He's going to finish 6th on his return to IF1C. A brilliant drive from the former Red Bull driver, and obviously coming back to the Red Bull program and being a Toro Rosso driver, Connor Smith has got to be happy about that one as he goes around the third to last corner and up towards the final 2 corners on the track. Connor Smith on his return to IF1C is going to cross the line in 6th place. A brilliant drive from the Brit. Connor Smith finishes in 6th place. Great stuff from him. And, well, double points for Toro Rosso. And Cesar Hernandez is going to finish 7th, picking up 6 points for Renault. So 4 constructors are going to get points today. Only 7 finishes, of course, but Cesar getting points despite a bad start to what he had earlier on after losing a bit of his front wing to Matthew Dummer. But there are your podium celebrators. Matt Orange finishing 1st, Robert Hunter 2nd, and Michael Moran, thanks to Oliver Glazebrook's 3-second penalty, promoted to 3rd place. But what a race it has been. There's Matt Orange holding up the trophy as the champagne celebrations continue here. What a race it's been here in Melbourne. So much strategy play was played hold, and if the two Mercedes boys can keep each other entertained throughout the season, I think it could be a very close championship. But there you have it then, guys. After all of that, here is the result of the Australian Grand Prix. Matt Orange wins the race with Robert Hunter in 2nd. He even got a 3-second time penalty as well. It seemed that he kind of cut a little bit too much, but luckily for him it will not affect his position. Michael Moran finished in 3rd with Oliver Glazebrook 4th after getting a 3-second time penalty, dropping to that place. Olly Flavell finished in 5th. He also got a 3-second time penalty, but like with Robert Hunter, his place is not affected. Connor Smith finishes in 6th. We see Cesar Hernandez, the last of the finishes, in 7th. The retirements, of course, being Matthew Adler, Matthew Dummer, Joseph Willows, Jyri Maatta, and Andy Graham. And if we see the rest of them, Tyarn Reynolds, Barber, Sam Thompson, TJ McLean and Francis McGinn failed to start as a result of disconnecting in qualifying. And the 3 drivers that did not take part, of course, was Collingwood, Liam Kalvaitis and Mow Swanson. So let's have a look then at what the Drivers' Championship looks like then after this race. Matt Orange takes an early lead in the championship with Robert Hunter 2nd, Michael Moran in 3rd, with Oliver Glazebrook 4th, Olly Flavell 5th, Connor Smith in 6th. Cesar Hernandez is in 7th with Matthew Adler, Matthew Dummer, Joseph Willows, Jyri Maatta, Andy Graham, Tyarn Reynolds, Barber, Sam Thompson, TJ McLean, Francis McGinn, Collingwood, Liam Kalvaitis, Mow Swanson, and of course the regular Sauber driver Quintin Ladd still yet to score points. In the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes take an early lead on with 43 points, with Ferrari in 2nd on 27. It's going to be a Toro Rosso in 3rd with 18 points. Brilliant result for them. And Renault are in 4th, the last team to have points on 6 points, with Haas, McLaren, Williams, Red Bull, Sauber and Force India all yet to score points this season. But guys, that has been it from the Australian Grand Prix. What a race it has been. And I'm pretty sure that you guys will be looking forward to what will be another great season of racing, especially if the two Mercedes drivers keep each other for company, and especially the Ferraris can even get into the mix as well. But guys, that has been it. I hope you've enjoyed it. The next race will be the Malaysian Grand Prix in Kuala Lumpur, back to its original place of round 2. Obviously it was round 2 last season, but it is continuing to be the second round of the championship, and obviously the last F1 game to have it as well, so we might have it for this season and maybe next season as well, who knows. But until then guys, that has been it, so thank you very much for watching. I've been JWF1 and I'll see you guys next time at the Malaysian Grand Prix in Kuala Lumpur, specifically at the Sepang International Circuit. Until then, take care. I get my kicks from the thrill of the chase.